فخري وذخيرتي في آخرتي ودنياي. الإمام الحسين عليه السلام زيارة مني ونيابة عن والدي وعن والد والدي وعن إخواني وأخواتي وعن جميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات قربة طاعة إلى الله تعالى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله لقد عظمت الرزية وجلت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام. وجلت وعظمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجار عليكم أهل البيت. ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم. ولعن الله الممهدين لكم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان. ولعن الله بني أمية قاطبة. ولعن الله ابن مرجانة. ولعن الله عمر بن سعد. ولعن الله شمرا بدأت لقتالك بأبي أنت وأمي، لقد عظم مصابي بك، فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب ثأرك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك وبالبراءة ممن قاتلك ونصب لك الحرب، وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس الظلم والجور عليكم، وأبرأ إلى الله وإلى رسوله ممن أسس أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانه وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم أهل البيت وعلى أشياعكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم، وأتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الحرب، وبالبراءة من أشياعهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة، وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود الذي لكم عند الله، وأن يرزقني طلب ثأركم مع إمام مهدي ظاهر ناطق منكم. وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا بمصيبته، مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع أهل السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي ففيه نبيك. اللهم العن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية، عليهم منك اللعنة أبد الآبدين. يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين عليه السلام. اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليهم السلام. اللهم العن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم العن العصابة التي جاهدت الحسين عليه السلام وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم العنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم باللعن مني، وابدأ به الأول ثم الثاني والثالث والرابع. اللهم العن يزيد خامسا والعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجانة وعمر بن سعد وشمران وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابهم. الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين عليه السلام يوم الورود، وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا غريب يا شهيد كربلاء فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. I begin in the name of the Almighty God, the Compassionate, the Merciful, the one who has created everything in utmost perfection. And may the peace and blessings of the Almighty God be upon His pure and beloved messenger, the peak of His creation, the symbol of humanity, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alih, and his immaculate progeny of the Ahlul Bayt, especially the leader of our time, the awaited Savior, Al-Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah. May Allah hasten his reappearance and make us amongst his sincere and dedicated servants, and amongst those who will rise with him to seek the vengeance for the killing of Al-Imam Al-Hussein salawatullahi alayhi. My dear brothers and sisters, on this very sorrowful and tragic evening, the eve of Ashura, I extend to you my sincerest condolences on the greatest tragedy that has ever struck history. That is the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and his family members and his companions. On this eve of Ashura, as we get closer to the tragedy, it is very helpful for us to shed some light on the speeches of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. We want to better know our Imam. The Imam alayhi salam gave many speeches throughout his life, and we'd like to benefit from the content, from the message contained in these amazing speeches. In our discussion this evening, we will analyze briefly 3 speeches that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam gave. The first one is about 1 year before Karbala, in Mina during the Hajj season. The second one is when Imam Hussein alayhi salam was about to leave Mecca to Iraq. This is about 1 month before Karbala. And the last of the 3 is the speech that he gave in the land of Karbala on the day of Ashura as he was facing the enemies. Let's now go back to year 60 of the Hijrah, or actually 59 of the Hijrah technically. This is 1 year before Muawiyah died. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam went to the Hajj that year. Imam Hussein would frequently go to the Hajj. In fact, he went to the Hajj 25 times on feet, walking, to show his servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Historians tell us that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was in Mina. Before he gave the speech, he called on many of the companions of the Prophet to come and join and listen to the speech, and many righteous people from his friends, family members, other people from the Tabi'een, the generation that comes after the Sahaba, the companions. The Imam gathered them. 700 people were now gathered in Mina by Mecca during the Hajj season to listen to the speech of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. 200 of these 700 people were Sahaba, were companions who met the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. The Imam alayhi salam starts the speech by saying, أَمَّا بَعْدْ فَإِنَّ هَذَا الطَّاغِيَ قَدْ فَعَلَ بِنَا وَبِشِيعَتِنَا مَا قَدْ رَأَيْتُمْ وَعَلِمْتُمْ وَشَهِدْتُمْ. O people, you see that this dictator, this arrogant ruler has done to us and our followers what you've all seen, you've all heard about it. In the beginning of his sermon, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is highlighting the injustice of Muawiyah. Now this is very significant because there are some who have claimed that before Karbala, Imam Hussein alayhi salam did not show any position or stance towards the injustice. It's only when Yazid came to power, Imam Hussein alayhi salam spoke up. That's not the case. Imam Hussein alayhi salam spoke up during the time of Muawiyah. Yes, he continued the treaty, the truce, the peace treaty that was started by his brother Al-Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam. He did not fight. But this did not mean that Al-Imam Al-Hussein kept silent. And this is a lesson for us that we cannot keep silent. Fighting for justice doesn't mean that you have to go to the battlefield and fight. Sometimes that may be the case. Like in Karbala, the Imam alayhi salam had to go and fight. But usually the way we repel injustice is by speaking up. So the Imam alayhi salam condemned Muawiyah and that he is an evil dictator. Yes, there is a peace treaty, but it does not mean that Muawiyah is off the hook. I still condemn him. And then the Imam highlights what happened to the Shia. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes we think life is tough for us. We think we have family problems in this society. It's difficult to be practicing. It's difficult to observe my prayers. It's difficult to observe hijab, avoid music, avoid haram food. We think it's tough. Believe me, in this era, you live as kings. This is not to underestimate anyone's trial. But do you know what would happen during the time of Muawiyah to the Shia of Al Muhammad? Imam al-Hussein is saying, you all know what Muawiyah has done to us. The Shia were persecuted. Sometimes their homes were demolished. They would not receive any salary from the public funds like anyone else would. Some of them would be killed. Amr ibn al-Hamaq al-Khuza'i, he was a companion of Rasulullah, a companion, a Sahaba. Was he a Sahabi? You know what Muawiyah ordered for him to be done? Because he was not with Muawiyah, he was with the Ahlul Bayt. Muawiyah had him killed and his head was slaughtered in Mosul, north of Iraq. And the head of Amr ibn al-Hamaq al-Khuza'i was sent as a gift to Muawiyah. This was the first head to be gifted to a ruler after Islam. Muawiyah instituted this. And then there are some ignorant people today. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, he's a Sahabi. Yeah, what kind of a Sahabi? He killed other Sahabi. How can you have respect for him? Imagine the Shia living during those eras. It was so difficult. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is highlighting this, that Muawiyah is not off the hook. I condemn what he did. Then the Imam alayhi salam, in the next passage of the sermon, he highlights the role of scholars. Scholars, community leaders, they cannot be silent. اعتبروا أيها الناس بما وعظ الله به أولياءه من سوء ثنائه على الأحبار. People, take this lesson from the Quran, how Allah criticizes the ahbar, the Jewish scholars. What does Allah say in the Holy Quran? لولا ينهاهم الربانيون والأحبار عن قولهم الإثم. The Quran condemns them. Why is it that the scholars are not stopping the aggression? Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam beautifully comments here. The Imam alayhi salam says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemned these scholars because they saw the rulers committing acts of injustice and they did not speak up. They kept silent. So we see Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is mobilizing the people to speak up against injustice and to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. He highlights al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa-nahy 'anil munkar. So we find that the Imam alayhi salam says, فَبَدَأَ اللَّهُ بِالْأَمْرِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيِ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ فَرِيضَةً مِّنْهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it an obligation. When you see something wrong, do something. Don't say, no, it's none of my business. This none of my business attitude is not an Islamic attitude. You see something wrong in the family, someone being oppressed, speak up. There's a lot of injustice that goes on in our families, my dear brothers and sisters. No, I'd rather not get involved. What do you mean you'd rather not get involved? You see a fellow relative is being oppressed, harassed, and you don't say anything? You don't at least try to do anything? Allah does not accept this from you. Whatever it may be. Sometimes there's an inheritance issue. Some brothers, they take the inheritance of their sisters. Nobody speaks up. No, you have to speak up. Sometimes you see one of your friends is being bullied. At school, you see someone being bullied. No, it's none of my business. It's none of your business. Allah won't accept your deeds. Pray and pray. Do dua. Allah's not going to answer you. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says, this is a fariḍah. This is an obligation. Because those people who do wrong and they bring forth immorality, they normalize it in society. They make it okay. They're harming everyone. No one has the right to harm others. Today, if you're, let's say, in a place, right, and someone comes not wearing a mask, you're out there, you're at the mall, you're doing grocery shopping, or there are some majalis who do have in-person programs with social distancing and masks. Someone comes and he says, you know what? I don't care. I don't believe in this virus. I don't believe in this mask. I'll do whatever I want. I'll get close to you. I'll even sneeze in your face. Would you let him? Well, yeah, free country. It's a free country. Do whatever you want. That person is endangering others because this is a virus. If he's carrying the virus, he's going to infect others. My dear brothers and sisters, there's a moral virus. There is a moral virus, ethical virus. When you see something wrong in your family, amongst your friends, do something. Yes, be wise. Use the best approach, no doubt. But in the end, you have to say something. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam highlights the significance of enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. Then the Imam alayhi salam says the root cause of all this mess is because you people are not sacrificing enough to stand with the chosen imams. Allah has given you leaders. If you had followed them, the earth would not be like this. People betrayed the imams of Ahlul Bayt. And until today, we continue to betray the imams by not following their teachings, by not reflecting their teachings. The Imam alayhi salam was very upset in Mina. You people, because you don't want to sacrifice, the likes of Muawiyah, they come to power. Had you sacrificed more, Muawiyah would not have had the audacity to do what he did. But it's because we're not doing more. And today, Al-Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala faraja expects the same from us. We say, Allahumma ajjal waliyika al-faraj. But what are we doing to hasten the reappearance? What are we doing to work for justice at the individual level, the family level, the social level, the global level? So Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is telling them, had you been more patient, you would have sacrificed more, things would not have become like this. You would have lived in an oasis of peace on this earth. Then the Imam alayhi salam, he concludes his sermon in Mina by stating his objective. See, this is 1 year before Karbala. The Imam is already setting the stage. He's preparing the people that I have a mission in this life. And I'm not acting out of personal desires. The Imam alayhi salam says, Allahumma innaka ta'lamu annahu lam yakun ma kana minna tanafusan fi sultan. Oh Allah, you know very well that we, the Ahlul Bayt, we're not trying to compete for power. وَلَا الْتِمَاسًا مِنْ فُضُولِ الْحُطَامِ. And we're not trying to get money or wealth. Absolutely not. وَلَكِنْ لِنُرِيَ الْمَعَالِمَ مِنْ دِينِكَ. Oh Allah, we are rising, the Ahlul Bayt, to show people your religion. وَنُظْهِرَ الْإِصْلَاحَ فِي بِلَادِكَ. And to show reform and righteousness in your lands. وَيَأْمَنَ الْمَظْلُومُونَ مِنْ عِبَادِكَ. And that people who are oppressed, they feel safe. That's why. This is the message of Ahlul Bayt, to establish the religion of God and bring peace and security for the people. I'm not going to rise for a personal agenda here. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam demonstrates this point when he leaves to Iraq by taking his family, women and children. Many people wonder, why did Imam Hussein take the women and children with him? Why would you do that? Aren't you putting them in danger? Which, responsible man puts the women and children in danger if he's going on a dangerous trip? Imam al-Hussein had an objective. One reason was to show to the world that he was sincere. He's not going for power. In fact, Charles Dickens, he mentions this, the famous literary figure. He says, if Hussein rose to power, why did he take the women and children with him? This demonstrates that Hussein was sincere for Islam. Because when you take your beloved family with you, you're being honest. I'm not here for power. If I'm here for power, I'm not going to put my family in danger. I'm here for a cause, and that is to uphold justice. So I'll bring my family to show that to you. And secondly, Imam Hussein alayhi salam knew that when he'd be killed, and his family members would be killed, and his companions would be killed, who would be there to tell the world what happened in Karbala? Especially with the Umayyad propaganda machine and their censorship of the media. It's the women and the children. They let the world know what happened in Karbala. They were the media of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is the first speech, my dear brothers and sisters. It's a very important speech. 1 year before the event of Karbala, the Imam gave the speech in Mina in the presence of 700 people. 200 of them were companions. And we see that the Imam alayhi salam is setting the stage. He's educating the masses. You have to stand up. But people don't care, my dear brothers and sisters. No, I want to have my comfortable life. As long as I have a job, and that's it. Isn't it so today? If you look at Americans, right? Not all of them. There are many decent Americans, but many of them, all they care is about the economy. As long as I have my job, I don't care what happens on earth. Let America burn half of the world. Let the president do whatever he wants. I don't care. I want my job. Isn't it so? Many people, they just think of their jobs. They don't care. They're not willing to sacrifice. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave this powerful speech, but many people did not care to stand up against Muawiyah and his aggression and the Umayyad aggression. Now we transition to the second speech. This speech was given by Imam Hussein alayhi salam when he was in Mecca the next year, right before he left to Karbala. Because Imam Hussein, at the end of Rajab, he left Medina. He came to Mecca. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, 1 day before Hajj starts, Imam Hussein deliberately left to send a powerful message to the world that fighting against injustice is more important. You Muslims, you think you come here, you do the Hajj under a dictator like Yazid, and you don't reject injustice. You think Allah accepts your Hajj. You have to stand up. So the Imam alayhi salam gives this speech shortly before he leaves the land of Mecca going to Iraq. The Imam alayhi salam starts by mentioning death. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He praises Allah. خط الموت على ولد آدم مخط القلادة على جيد الفتاة. An amazing description of death in the words of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He says, death has been written on the children of Adam. Death surrounds the children of Adam just like a necklace surrounds the neck of the one wearing it. And the Imam mentions a woman. Have you seen a woman who wears a necklace? The necklace surrounds her neck. The Imam alayhi salam says, this is how death is. Death is surrounding you. Don't think there's an escape from death. Now, why do you think the Imam would start his speech by talking about death? Because in other words, the Imam is saying, look, people, death is going to come to you. One day you have to leave. Therefore, die with faith, die in honor. If you have to leave anyway, then at least do the right thing and die. You think there's an escape from death? No one can escape death. This world one day will come to an end. And on the day of Ashura, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam wrote a letter. It's the shortest letter that the Imam ever wrote. One sentence. أَمَّا بَعْدْ فَكَأَنَّ الدُّنْيَا لَمْ تَكُنْ. The Imam says it's as if the world does not even exist. وَكَأَنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَمْ تَزَلْ. And it's as if the Akhirah is ever present. Wassalam. One line from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The akhirah is infinite. The infinity of the akhirah dwarfs the size of this world. You live 70, 80 years, 90 years, okay. The akhirah is infinite. And that infinite life is based on these 70, 80 years. This life has no value, it's nothing. Divide any number by infinity, what do you get? Zero. Mathematically, you get zero. The Imam is saying the value of this dunya is zero. Because the akhirah is ever present. The believer can feel the akhirah from this dunya. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam in Khutbat al-Muttaqeen, he describes the believers. He says they can see heaven and hell from here. They can feel heaven and hell from here. The akhirah is so big and massive and eternal, it dwarfs this dunya. This dunya is like a quick dream. You don't even feel it. It's zero. So the Imam reminds us of death. Now, is it worth it for me to destroy that infinite akhirah for a few days of pleasure here in this dunya? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I have to leave anyway. At least let me leave prepared. That's the message of Ashura, my dear brothers and sisters. Imagine you are going to a very important appointment. It's the appointment of your life, that final exam, or maybe that interview that's going to determine your career. But to get to that side, you have to cross a bridge. Now imagine you're crossing the bridge and you see there's a line, there's chaos. Hey, what's going on here? They're passing out cookies. So you stand in line fighting with others trying to get some cookies. Yeah, I want those cookies. And you waste time until what? You miss your interview. Imagine if someone puts himself in that situation. What would you say about this person? Honestly, that's what we do every single day. Dunya is a bridge to the akhirah. A bridge to the akhirah. We're distracting ourselves day and night with petty issues. The Imam ﷺ reminds us of death. It surrounds you. Don't think there's an escape. No one can escape death. Not the richest of the rich. Yesterday, Jeff Bezos became, well, he was the richest person on the planet. He became even richer. Now his wealth is estimated at $200 billion. $200 billion. My dear brothers and sisters, if he wants to spend $1 million a day, no, $10 million a day, can he spend all his wealth? What does he want to do with that wealth? You think that wealth is protecting you? You think that wealth is going to avoid death for you? Alexander the Great, he made in his will that when I die, I have 3 requests. One of them, I want only doctors to carry my janazah, my casket to the grave. Only doctors, the best physicians. Number 2, get all the money that I have in my kingdom, the jewelry, the gold, the silver, the precious stones, the currency, the coins. I want you from my grave, from my bed to my grave, throw that money on the ground. Make like a pathway from my bed to the grave. And number 3, I want you to have my hands extended like that out of the kafan. They told him, we don't get this. Are you out of your mind? He said, yes, I'll explain it to you. I want the physicians to carry my janazah to show to the world that I had the best doctors, but they could not save me from death. Here, they're walking in my funeral. All the money that I have, it did not save me from death. And just as I came to this dunya empty-handed, I leave empty-handed. That's the reality of life. Okay, you have $200 billion. What's next? You think it's easy now for this person to leave dunya when you have $200 billion? Believe me, brothers and sisters, thank God you don't have that money. Because when you have that money and Israel, the angel of death, comes to you, oh boy, good luck. Good luck trying to detach this heart from dunya. No, I have 200 billion. I could live another 5,000 years and spend this money. No, you're not going to live 5,000 years. A few years and you have to leave. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam sets the stage for Karbala by talking about death and the significance of death. Then the Imam alayhi salam he talks about a very important point here in the speech. The Imam alayhi salam highlights his extreme joy to meet those who left before him, his eagerness to meet them, his shawq. And he says, وَمَا أَوْلَهَنِي إِلَىٰ أَسْلَافِ اشْتِيَاقِ يَعْقُوبْ إِلَىٰ يُوسُف. The Imam alayhi salam states, you know, Yaqub, how much he missed and he loved Yusuf. 40 years of separation. It's the peak of the peak of missing someone, loving someone. The Imam alayhi salam states, those who have left before me, my grandfather, my father, my uncles, my brother Hassan, my mother Fatima, I miss them more than Yaqub misses Yusuf. In other words, the Imam says, what do I have in this dunya? I miss Ashab al-Kisa. I want to go back to them. Allahu Akbar. Imagine Imam Hussein in this world. Gharib, really gharib. People betraying him, people abandoning him. He knows thousands of people will come to fight him and kill him. The Imam says, I miss those who came before me, my ancestors. I really miss them. I don't want to stay in this dunya. Why would I stay in this dunya? That's it. My time's up. And my dear brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful aspects of the akhirah, of the barzakh for the one who's prepared, is that you meet the shining stars of Ahlul Bayt. We have many narrations that the believer at the moment of death sees Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sees the beautiful face of Amir al-Mu'mineen. In fact, one of the companions of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, the Imam asked him, the Imam told him, do you go and visit Hussein in Karbala? He was from Basra. He told him, Aba Abdullah, I can't because I'm a well-known figure. If I go, they'll persecute me, kill me. But I become very depressed. On the days of Ashura, when Muharram starts, the day of Ashura, I cannot eat. My family sees me in a severe depressed state, sorrowful state. I cannot eat. I cannot do anything. The Imam says, if really you have that jaza, you have that feeling of despair, you have that feeling of sorrow for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, I promise you, at the moment of death, you shall see my fathers and grandfathers. You shall see Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and they will tell the angel of death, be gentle with him, he is one of us. When you read this, my dear brothers and sisters, sometimes you just want to leave this dunya and go in the company of Rasulullah, go in the company of the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. There's nothing more honorable than that. Then the Imam alayhi salam talks about the divine trial. He says, وَخِيرَ لِي مَصْرَعٌ أَنَا لَاقِي. Yes, that martyrdom, that killing, that massacre has been approved by Allah in His divine will. Allah has decided that this is my fate, that I shall leave this dunya as a shaheed. And I accept that. Then the Imam says, كَأَنِّي بِأَوْصَالِي تُقَطُّعُهَا أُسْلَانُ الْفَلَوَاتِ بَيْنَ النَّوَاوِيسِ وَكَرْبَلَا. The Imam says, it's as if I can see my body parts being severed by wild animals by Karbala. Yes, the Imam foretold about what would happen to him in Karbala. But the Imam ﷺ was full of iman. وَلَا مَحِيصَ عَنْ يَوْمٍ خُطَّ بِالْقَلَمِ. I can't run away from a will that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for me. رِضَى اللَّهِ رِضَانَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. The satisfaction of Allah, the pleasure of Allah is our satisfaction, is our pleasure, the Ahlul Bayt. نَصْبِرُ عَلَى بَلَائِهِ وَيُوَفِّينَا أُجُورَ الصَّابِرِينَ. We are patient when it comes to times of tragedy, and Allah will give us the full ajr and the full reward of the patient ones. You see how Imam Hussein says, رِضَى اللَّهِ رِضَانَا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. This is why the Ahlul Bayt, my dear brothers and sisters, is the best family in history. Everything that happened to them, they're going to their martyrdom, they thank Allah. Oh Allah, we accept the will. If you just accept the will of Allah, you'll have peace of mind. You'll sleep the best sleep, believe me. At night, sometimes we struggle to sleep. What will happen tomorrow, next year, next month? Submit yourself to Allah. You have the best creator. Allah knows what's good for you. I don't. Allah sees millions of factors that impact me. I don't. So that's it. Submit yourself to Allah. It's okay. At night, sleep, say, Allah, you are my wakil. You know wakil? The agent who acts on your behalf. Allah says, I'm the wakil. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. Allah is wakil. He'll take care of you. Submit yourself to Him. Then the Imam ends his speech by making an invitation for the people. مَنْ كَانَ بَاذِلًا فِينَا مُهْجَةً. The one who'd like to donate his heart to us. Yes, because you'll get killed. وَمُوَطَّنًا عَلَى لِقَاءِ اللَّهِ نَفْسَهُ. And you're ready to meet Allah? فَلْيَرْحَلْ مَعَنَا. Join me on this journey. فَإِنَّنِي رَاحِلٌ مُصْبَحًا إِنْ شَاء اللَّهِ. Tomorrow, I am going to Iraq. I am going to Karbala. Look at the honesty of Imam Hussein, my dear brothers and sisters. The honesty of Abu Abdullah. In these moments, a leader wants to mobilize support and have more numbers join him, right? So normally you don't tell them that they're going to die because you want people to support you. If you tell them to die, no one's going to join you. So you hide that from them. Yeah, come, let's go, we'll see what happens. No, Imam Hussein is at the peak of honesty. In this sermon, he tells them, the one who wants to meet Allah, let him join us. I have nothing to hide. The one who joins me, the fate is martyrdom. There's no running away from that. This is the honesty of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, we transition to the third sermon of Imam Hussein. The one that he gave on the day of Ashura. The Imam, in the presence of his enemies, is looking at them and he says, Ya Ahl al-Iraq, O people of Iraq, Inna waliy Allahu alladhi nazzala al-kitab, wa huwa yatawalla as-salihin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my wali. Allah is my guardian. He's the one who revealed the book and He's the one who takes care of the righteous ones. In essence, the Imam alayhi salam, he's here is teaching everyone that Allah is my guardian. Don't worry. Let 30,000 people stand before me. I don't care. Doesn't matter because Allah is with me. He's on my side. And Imam Hussein beautifully in Dua Arafah, you've all read this dua, right? Ilahi madha wajada man faqadak. Wa madha faqada man wajadak. Oh Allah, what has He lost? The one who's found you. If you found Allah, you have Allah, what have you lost? You have the King of the universe with you. And what has He found? The one who's lost you. If you have the whole world, but you're not on God's side, what do you have? Allah is my guardian. It's okay. He'll take care of me. Don't worry. Allah's with me every step of the way. I have full faith in Him, even though I'm going towards my martyrdom. But this is through the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the Imam makes a dua. Allahumma anta thiqati fi kulli kar wa raja'i fi kulli shidda. Oh Allah, you are my trust in every difficulty, and you are my hope in every trial and tragedy. وأنت لي في كل أمر نزل بي ثقة وعدة. Then the Imam continues to say, oh Allah, how many times have I asked you for help when I am stuck and you have helped me, oh Allah. And then the Imam concludes this dua by saying, Allah is going to help me. He will support me. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, some people wonder here, if Imam Hussein made his dua, and the dua of Hussein is mustajab, right? The dua of Abu Abdullah Hussein is not rejected by Allah. Allah accepts. Why didn't Allah save him when he's asking Allah to save him? Give him the power, let him defeat the enemies. Imam Hussein did not ask for physical defeat of the enemies. The Imam asked for moral defeat, spiritual defeat, and he won. Imam Hussein, for him to be saved, did not mean that Allah protects him from being killed and he kills all of his enemies. No. To be saved, that means, oh Allah, let me go back to you now. Save me from this dunya, from this misery, from the betrayal of the people. Let me save your religion. Let me revive the name of Muhammad and the name of Quran. Let me win by awakening the people and saving Islam. That's the help that Imam Hussein alayhi salam asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Ashura. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered him. They killed Imam Hussein, but he defeated them. And the best proof, 14 centuries later, even when there's corona, we sit from our homes and we commemorate Imam Hussein. We'll never forget the legacy of Imam Hussein, because Imam Hussein alayhi salam shows us that light. Then the Imam alayhi salam, in the next passage of his speech on the day of Ashura, he looks at his enemies and basically he tells them, do you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I am the son of Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet. Don't you claim to be Muslims who follow the Prophet? The Prophet is my grandfather. Is there any grandson to a Prophet today other than me on the face of the planet? Isn't Ali ibn Abi Talib the commander of the faithful and the successor of the Prophet my father? Didn't the Prophet say, me and my brother Hassan and I are the masters of the youth of paradise? Haven't you seen this? Haven't you heard this? Do you doubt me? If you doubt me, there are many companions. You can ask them. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, Zayd ibn Arqam, Sahl ibn Sa'd al-Sa'idi. Go and ask them. They'll tell you that the Prophet said this about me and my brother. We're the masters of the youth of paradise. Why are you here to kill us? Don't you know who I am? And then the Imam looks at them. You sent me letters. Here, I have the letters. You told me to come to Kufa. Now you've betrayed me? They said, Hussein, we don't know what you're talking about. They denied it. They lied. And the Imam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to curse them for doing this to his family. There was no excuse for them, my dear brothers and sisters. Imam Hussein alayhi salam told them very well who he is. They had no excuse. They told him, no, we don't listen to what you're saying. And here's the ultimatum that we give you. Surrender yourself and we'll take you to Ibn Ziyad or Yazid. The Imam alayhi salam says, no, I swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'll never do that. La wallah, la u'tikum biyadi i'ta' al-dhalil. I'm not going to surrender myself in humiliation. Wala afirru firar al-abid. And I'm not going to run away like the fugitives. Never. This Da'i ibn al-Da'i, this corrupt Ibn Ziyad, has given us two choices. As-silla wa dhilla. Either we fight or we accept humiliation. وَهَيْهَاتْ مِنَّ الذِّلَّةِ. Impossible for us, the Ahl al-Bayt, to be humiliated like that. We'll fight. Allah does not accept for us to be humiliated. The Prophet does not accept for us to be humiliated. So the Imam alayhi salam made it very clear that he's not going to submit. My dear brothers and sisters, these are the three main speeches of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in the land of Karbala. And on this night, the eve of Ashura, we also remember one last short speech by Imam Hussein. When he was carrying his infant in his arm, the Imam alayhi salam looked at them and he told them, oh people, you have killed my family members. You have killed the companions of mine. And there is no one else who remains except this young infant. And he is dying from thirst. There's nothing for him to drink. If you think I've committed a crime, إن لم ترحموني فارحموا هذا الطفل الرضيع. If you have no mercy on me, then show mercy to this young infant. Allahu Akbar. On this night, oh believers, we commemorate the martyrdom, the tragic martyrdom of Ali Asghar, Abdullah al-Radi', this youngest child of Imam al-Hussein, salawatullahi alayhi. Yes, O believers, on the day of Ashura, Lady Zainab alayha salam came to Imam Hussein. She told him, Aba Abdullah, take your son. He's withering. His mother no longer can nurse him or breastfeed him. He is withering. See if you can get some water for him. We can't see Ali Asghar like this, an infant, a 6-month-old baby, die in front of us like that. Go to them. Maybe they'll give him some water. Sakina was there. She also came. Yes, this is my young brother. You know, Sakina and Ali Asghar, they were from the same mother, from Lady Rabab. She loved her dear brother. She couldn't see him dying from thirst in front of her eyes. So she comes to Imam Hussein. Yes, father, please see if you can get some water for Ali Asghar. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam carries Ali Asghar in his arms. He goes out to the battlefield, oh believers. Yes, what happens? Imam Hussein carries him. Everyone sees Imam Hussein's not with a sword. He's not here to fight. He's carrying a baby. What does he have to say? He gives them that speech. Oh people, you've killed everyone. No man remains. Don't worry. If you think I'm going to drink the water, here, you take it. Take my baby and you feed him water. He's dying from thirst. يَتَلَظَّى عَطَشًا. You know what يَتَلَظَّى mean? Means, my dear brothers and sisters, some linguists have you seen when the fish is taken outside the water, how it takes its mouth and it's trying to survive, it's breathing its final moments? This is how Ali Asghar was. In those final moments, like a fish outside the water, Ali Asghar was struggling due to the extreme thirst. Imam Hussein told them, give him some water. If you have no mercy on me, then show some mercy to this infant. There was commotion and chaos in the army of Ibn Ziyad, the army of Umar ibn Sa'ad. Some said, yes, what's the harm? It's just a baby. Let's give it some water. Some said, no, don't have mercy on anyone of this family. They have to die thirsty. This is the order of the Emir. There was commotion. Some said, give him water. Some said, don't. When suddenly Umar ibn Sa'ad, may Allah curse him, he looked at Harmala. Harmala was a very skilled archer. He told him, Ya Harmala, iqta' niza' al-qawm. Oh, Harmala, end the dispute. Don't you see there's chaos? Harmala says, what do you want me to do? My commander, tell me. He tells him, Ama tara bayad raqabati. He tells him, don't you see the whiteness of his neck? Shoot him. Take out an arrow. Imam Hussein was carrying his infant in his arms. Oh, believers, what happens at this point? This evil man, he takes out a 3-headed spear, a 3-pronged arrow, and it was a poisonous arrow, and he targets the neck of the infant, and he shoots Ali Asghar with that infant. That arrow comes and it pierces through the neck. Imagine how big is the neck of Ali Asghar. For a 3-headed arrow, it's bigger than his neck. Immediately he slaughtered him. Imam Hussein alayhi salam saw his infant being slaughtered in his arms. Yes, those narrators who were present there, they say that when Ali Asghar felt the arrow, he took out his hands from the swaddle. He took out his arms and he wanted to hug his father. It's as if he wanted to tell him, Father, this is the water that they gave me by drenching me with blood. Imam Hussein puts his hand under the neck of Ali Asghar. He collects the blood and he throws it to the sky. He says, Oh Allah, oh Allah, one thing gives me patience in this trial, and that's your watching. Oh Allah, you're with me, you're watching. Otherwise, I couldn't handle this tragedy. Not a drop of blood comes back to the earth. Imam Hussein sees his beloved infant slaughtered before him. Sa'ad Allah qalbaka ya Aba Abdullah. How many tragedies, brothers and sisters, how many tragedies did Hussein face on the day of Ashura? You know, in Ziyarat al-Nahiya, which is attributed to Imam al-Mahdi, you know what Imam al-Mahdi says? The Imam says, لَقَدْ عَجِبَتْ مِنْ صَبْرِهِ مَلَائِكَةُ السَّمَاءِ. The angels of the heavens and the skies, they were shocked at the patience of Hussein. Imagine the angels who've seen everything in history, all the trials, all the tragedies, but they were shocked at Hussein. How are you so patient? Imam Hussein takes his infant in his arm. He goes back towards the tent. One narration says Imam Hussein, he goes to the tent, but he comes back 7 times. 7 times Imam Hussein goes back and forth. He doesn't know what to do. Where is he going to go? How is he going to show them the slaughtered infant? Ya Allah. And the historians say Imam Hussein was carrying Ali Asghar under his abaya, under his cloak, hiding him. When Zainab came, when Sakina came, they saw Hussein is hiding something under his cloak. Hussein, what are you carrying? What's the matter? The Imam alayhi salam comes forward to them. He takes out the slaughtered infant. He gives it to Zainab. He says, Zainab, khudhihi madbuha. Zainab, see what they did to him. This is the water that they gave him. Lady Zainab saw Ali Asghar in that state. Ya Allah, what a tragedy. Sakina saw that tragedy. Then finally his mother Rabah. Imagine carrying an infant, raising an infant, spending sleepless nights for your infant. You want to see your child grow before you, be there for you when you grow older. But Rabab, she saw the flower of her heart massacred in front of her. Allahu Akbar. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين.
چشماتو روی هم بذاری عموت با آب برمیگرده. من دیدم عموت با مشکل کسی نمونده توی دنیا مرامشو ندیده باشه که عمویی داری. فرات از اینجا خیلی دور نیست دیگه، الان باید رسیده باشه. الان دیگه عموش الان میاد. الان دیگه تو آب رفته، مشکشو زیر آب برده. عمو تو که میشناسی مادر مطمئنم که آب نخورد. الان شده سوار اسبش راهی خیمه های شاهه. بذار ببینم از تو خیمه چشم همه حرم براه. یه جورایی دلم شون آب خنک شبیه بارون مهمون میاره برا مهمون. به خواب تا انتظار کم شه تا وقتی که بیادم میتون بخواب عزیزم. اما با مشک خالی رفته کار امو نشد نداره. عباس گریبون نهر رو میتونه بگیره تا حرم بیاد. وای اگه آب نخورده باشه جون به تنش نمونده باشه. وای اگه رو زمین بیفته از رو زمین نتونه باشه. دیگه سر صدا داره مشکوک میشه. صدای هلهله میاد از سمت نر کنار حلقم شلوغه. نه قاسمی نه اکبری نه اونی نه جعفری بابا تنها کنار حلقم شلوغه. حسین تنها بین لشگر رو دامنش گرفته ارباب سر شکسته برای. خدا خودش روزی رسونه. لالا لالا مادر تو بدون شیره این لبه یا این که کبیره. گلم گریه نکن صدات میگیره. لالا گفتم بگن به سقا دیگه داره میشه دی زودتر بیا وگرنه بچم میافته از شیر. گفتم بگم به بابا فکری برا آتش کن. مادر رو دست من کرد به هوش بیا و قش کن. لالا آخه نشون نده انقدر گلو تو واکن دو دست کوچولو تو دعا بکن یکم عمو تو. لالا لالا پرستوی سرخ و سفیدم کی گفته من شیرت نمیدم. شیری نمونده ای امیدم لالا تا که عمو تو داری نیاد که ناامید چی عموت میاره آبون نمیذاره شهید چی با گریهات عزیزم دل منو نسوزون از تشنگی زبونو دور لبه مادر هرمله میخنده عزیزم دل منو کنده عزیزم سرت به مو بنده خونه تو دست بابا به دست آسمون داد آروم آروم خوابت بود تا تیر تو رو تکون داد برا جوونی تو چه نقشه ها که داشتم عصای دستم و کربلا جا گذاشت دیشب خواب میدیدم دلم رو بردی 3-4 تا دندون در از دست من غذا میخوردی اما امشب دلشوره دارم گاه و بیگاه نکنه گلت من ببینم رو نیزه تو راه علی میشنویم صدای غربت باباست میبینی بین دشمنا چقدر تنهاست تشنه لبیک یار از این صحراست مگه نمیبینی صدای غریبی بلند کرده صدا زد هل من ذاب یذب عن حرم رسول الله هل من ذاب یذب عنا هل من معین یعیننا لوجه الله کسی پیدا میشه به خاطر خدا ما رو یاری کنه 2 صدا شنیده شد اول صدای علی اصغر بلند شد من هستم به من دل خوش دار یه صدای دیگم بلند شد فارتفعت اصوات النساء بالعویل والبکا زنها شروع کردن ناله زدن یه صدای دیگم بلند شد اون ملعون صدا زد همه هل کنید کسی صدا شنش داد علی جونم میشنوی این صدای غربت باباست میبینی بین دشمنا چقدر تنهاست تشنه لبیک یار از این صحراست علی جونم تنها شده بابات پاشو یه کاری کن میبرم تو میدونون و یاری کن اشک تموم دشمناشو جاری کن داره بچه‌شو آماده میکنه این مادر رباب مگه جز تو کیو داره واسه تقدیم به مولا خدا نگهدارت علی جونم، دلتنگتم از حالا، دلتنگتم از همینجور که بچه رو آماده میکرد زیر لب یه حرفایی هم میزد، هی دستشو بلند میکرد رو به میدان، یا سار الله و ابن ساره. آفرین، تو هم دستتو بلند کردی، نشون بدی بگی منم هستم. بگی رو منم حساب کن، منم یه روزی به دردت میخورم. یا سار الله و ابن سار، یا سار الله و ابن ساره. یا سار الله و علی جونم، از تشنگی ترک ترک شده لبهات، از گشنگی نایی نداره دست و پات، ولی به خراب رومو پیش بابا. علی جونم، قنداقتو وامی کنم تا راحت. قنداقه رو بسته بودا، شروع کرد باز کردن، خبردار انگار. گفت بچه‌م میخواد دست و پا بزنه وسط میدون. علی جونم، قنداقتو وامی کنم تا راحتت، رجز بخونی تو مقابل لشکر، بلند بگی انا ابن فاتح خیر. رباب مگه جز تو واسه تقدیم به مولا، رباب مگه تقدیم به مولا. خدا نگهدارت علی جونم، دلتنگتم از حالا، دلتنگتم از حالا. یا سار الله و ابن ساره، پسرم آماده است الان میارمش. هی زیر لب میخونه یا سار الله و ابن ساره، یا سار الله و ابن. همه دست راستو بلند کن، به دستای خالی ما نگاه کن، داریم پیر میشیم به دردت نخوردیم. یا سار الله. ولی همیشه اینجوری نمیمونه، یه روزی نوبت ما میشه. یا سار الله، یا سار الله و ابن ساره، یا سار الله. لحن صحبتش عوض شد، خطابش عوض شد. حسین جانم، از اون روزی که من عروس این خونم، روز و شب عاشقونه با تو میخونم. چی؟ توی خوشی و سختی با تو میمونم. تموم لشکر منه آقا. چقدر روزه است، چقدر یه جمله روزه. همه دار و نداره من ببخش. اگر اجازه بدی خودم برم میدون حاضرم. از جان عزیزتر بچه‌مه تقدیمت میکنه. قبول کن پس اینم تموم لشکر منه آقا. قبول کن از ربابتین کمولا، بذار فدا بشه مثل گل لیلا. مگه از اکبر چی کم داره؟ یا سار الله و ابن ساره. من به لیلا غبطه میخورم. چه شهیدی داد علی اصغرم، چه برادری داد. مگه از اکبر چی کم داره؟ یا سار الله نداره قابلت رو شیر خواهه. یا سار برا بچه هاتون دعا کنین همینجور که روزه میخونین. بگید نوکر امام حسین باشه، کنیز دخترای امام حسین باشه. حرف آخرش چیه؟ پسرش رفت میدان، جلوه نمایانی کرد، به شهادت رسید. ثم قضا نحبه و قتل بین یدی الحسین. و من المؤمنین رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله علیه فمنهم من قضا نحبه و منهم من ینتظر و ما بدلوا تبدیلا. پسرش به شهادت رسید، شد مادر شهید، لحن صحبتش عوض شد. حسین جانم فدا سر تگه که تیر به هنجر خورد. فدا سره. امشب چه خبره؟ داره تموم میشه. گفته بودم یه حرفی رو نزنم. امشب آبو میبندن. امشب حرم آل علی آب ندارد، علمدار هست. الحمدلله. ای اهل حرم، یه ساعتی رسید. ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد. علمدار نیامد. حسین جانم فدا سر دگه که تیر به هنجر خورد. فدا سر تگ گل رباب پژمرد. ناراحت نباشی یا حتی بدون تیر علی من میمرد. آه 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 آه. امشب یه پرده دیگه ای از روزه علی اصغر برات باز کردن، از ملکوت عالم. حسین جانم فدا سر دگه که تیر به هنجر خورد. فدا سر تگ گل رباب پژمرد. حتی بدون تیر علی من میمون. فقط یه خواهش دارم حسین جانم، میشه حالا تا خاک نریختی رو اصغر؟ بمیرم برا مادرت، بمیرم برا مادرت. مادرها نگران نباشید، این مردم مهربونه. انگار این بچه ها فرق هلهله و چشم های شیطانی رو از عاشقای امام حسین میدونن. همه آرومن اونجوری که من میبینم همه آرومن. خوشحالیم که کسی جیغ نمیزنه بین اینا. حسین جان، میشه حالا تا خاک نریختی رو اصغر، یه بار دیگه بیاد ببیندش مادر. یه بار بیام ببینم، یه بار. دلم برای بچه‌م تنگ میشه. حسین جانم، میشه حالا تا خاک نریختی رو اصغر، یه بار دیگه بیاد ببیندش مادر، بغل کنه بچه‌شو لحظه میشه یه بار بیاد. ابا عبدالله بچه رو دفن کرد، بماند که بچه شد. ورمله به جفن سیفه، ورمله و دفنه به جفن سیفه. بچه رو با خون خودش آغشته کرد. محاسن خودش هم اینجا اولین باری بود که علی الظاهر خضاب شد. مستقیما هر شهیدی رو که میبوسید با محاسن مبارکش رنگین میشد، ولی اینجا خون به صورت مبارکش باشید. بچه رو به خون خودش آغشته کرد، او رو دفن کرد. اینجا دیگه رباب میدونی چی گفت؟ میدونی رباب مگه جز تو کیو داره یا سار الله؟ و در امام شناسی ارتقا پیدا کرد و بعد از شهادت ابا عبدالله الحسین، وقتی سینه مبارک همسرش سنگین شد، وقتی نفسهاش به شمار افتاد، رباب فقط نگاه کرد، به مقام توحید رسید، صدا زد لا اله الا الله. رباب مگه جز تو کیو داره یا سار الله و ابن سار؟ نداره قابلت رو شیر خاره یا سار، یا سار الله.
شراره بی آبی سوزونده لباتو، کویر تشنه کرده دریای نگاتو. رو دست بابا از دور میبینی فراتو، فراتو، فراتو. شراره بیابی سوزونده لباتو کبیر تشنه کرده دریای نگاتو رو دست بابا از دور میبینی فراتو 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 میبینی از دور تو نخلا عموتو یا نه ببینم همه پوشونده گلوتو یا نه میبینی از دور تو نخلا عموتو یا نه ببینم همه پوشونده گلوتو یا نه داریم شاید بگیریم جواب شاید بریم شاید برسیم به آب شاید سیراب بشی و بری به خواب شاید بریم شاید بگیریم جواب شاید برسیم به آب شاید سیراب بشی و بری به خواب شاید مرد میدونی من دردت رو میدونم میخوای با بابا باشی ای دردت به جونم واسد تو راه میدون لالایی میخونم لالایی میخونم میدونی کارو به آخر رسوندی یا نه میدونی تنها برا من تو موندی یا نه میدونی کارو به آخر رسوندی یا نه میدونی تنها برا من تو موندی یا نه بریم به خاطر هر دومون شاید به رحم بیاد دل سنگشون شاید یا ابریشه دل آسمون شاید بریم شاید بگیریم جواب شاید برسیم به آب شاید سیراب بشی و بریم به خواب شاید بریم شاید بگیریم جواب شاید برسیم به آب شاید سیراب بشی و بریم به خواب شاید شراره بیابی
یا حسین یا حسین اما ترونه کیف یتلذذ بچم داره میمیره به خدا منو مادرش چشم انتظاره منو تشنگی دوا نداره منو کاشکی آسمون بباره چجوری روی دست من عزیزم هر مل دید سفیدی گلو تو آورده اون تیر سشوبهی که زده تو حلقم باهاش عمو تو کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون ریز عشق من از گوشه چشمای ترم رو لبای خشکت ای پسرم منو علی شده پر گل یاسم منو علی بی جواب التماسم منو علی حرمتی نمونده واسم من الوزون صدای ناله قلب بیقرارم من بازم علی و تشییع جنازه دوباره این عباب کارم من کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون سرت به مو بنده ای وای از دست و پا زدنه اون داغت شد داغ بد کفنه منو علی بس این همه جسارت منو علی مادرش نره اسارت منو علی گوارش نره بباره شبیه روزه علی اکبر دارن به عشق پدرش میخندن پشت حرم میان سراغ قبرت سر تو رو نیزه ها میبندن کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون کشته منو داغ جبون تو لااقل زنده بمون
گریه هایت پشت منو جان مادرت فاطمه سبز کن امو رفته که برات آب بیاره قلقمه سبز کن امو جونت الان میاد باب سبز کن چشاتو هم بذار یکم بخواب سبز کن امو جونت الان میاد باب سبز کن چشاتو هم بذار یکم بخواب سبز کن داری با تشمیری بیتاب بارونیم سپروش آزم بمیدونیم قرار ما چرا با من نمیدونی داری با دیگه اکبر نمیاد تا با بوسه آش مرحمت باشه دیگه دیگه قاسم نمیاد تا با خنده هاشم دمه باشه دیگه اکبر نمیاد تا با بوسه هاش مرهمت باشه دیگه قاسم نمیاد تا با خنده هاشم دمت باشه تو رو میبوسه باز عمو که برگرده به عمو تو دلت بگو که برگرده تو رو میبوسه باز عمو که به عمو تو دلت بگو که برگرده دیگه بی کسا تنهاست بابای بیاره خیره به سوی نخلاص نگاه تب داره همه امید ماست به عموی علم داره داری باید داری از خیمه میری ولول توی غافل است ای وای بیرون خیمه چرا صحبت از تو هر ملست داری از خیمه میری ولول توی غافل بیرون خیمه چرا صحبت از تو حرمل است ای وای مثل یه سیب سرخ که با تبر افتاد تیر سشابه با سر تو در از اثر ضربتی آشفته شد موها به آسمونا رفتی از آغوش بابا اگه بری رو نیزه سر بابات میاد همراهات لالای علی اصغر لالای علی اصغر لالای علی لالای اصغر لالای علی اصغر لالای یا ابا عبدالله علی الدنیا بعد کلفا علی الدنیا بعد کلفا علی الدنیا بعد کلفا من آبم هنوز شرمنده کودک ربابم هنوز یاد علقمه به پیچ و تابم هنوز یاد لب خشک تو کبابم من
دیدی جلوی مادرت خراب شدم، برا چی از لبای تو جواب شدم، من آب شدم. یا ابا عبدالله علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا. من خاکم که خاک بر سر از یه جسم چاک چاکم، هنوز یاد خاک صورتت هلاکم. 3 روز تنها کفن یه جسم پاکم، غبار شدم، تو رو بغل گرفتم و مزار شدم، با چادر عقیل هم جوار شدم، غبار شدم. یا ابا عبدالله علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا. من بادم فقط یه بار تو زندگیم وایسادم، وقتی که بین زلف تو افتادم، موهای سوختت نمیره از یادم. من آه شدم بعد تو، حیرون تو قتلگاه شدم، شونه موی طفل بی پناه شدم، من آه شدم. یا ابا عبدالله علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا. آتیشم باور نداشت این دل پر تشویشم، یه روزی آتیش تو خیمه میشم، میگه رقیه که نیایی پیشم، کبود شدم، آه 3 سالتون گرفت و دود شدم، خاکستر محله یهود شدم، کبود شدم. یا ابا عبدالله علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا، علی الدنیا بعد کلفا.
قرص قمر رباب، ای گل پسر رباب، کوچیک سرتم ما شدی سایه سر رباب، شیرخوار یل رباب، غند اصل رباب، رو نیزه نشستن بهتره یا بغل رباب، رو نیزه نشستن بهتره یا بغل رباب. یارانی علی چشم بلی ای جان علی نیزه گتر از دستی گلی می جان علی آخر تو شیر نخردی تو جان مار بمیره مره دست جای کردیم تو جان مار بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره ای حال خوش رباب قربون تو رباب خندت نمیگیره خودشو هم بکش رباب ای کار و کس رباب برگرد نفس رباب از بس گریه کردم همه میگن که بس رباب از بس گریه کردم همه میگن که بس رباب ای بی سرالی غندقت برام شد مجرلی ای بی سرالی آخر بهم نگفتی مادر علی ای تشنا علی بسرو بدو بابا علی ای تشنا علی دیگه دار نگه به بالا علی ای تشنا علی من ترشیر ندامه تجان مار بمیره منش علی رخامه تجان مار بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره مادر برات بمیره عاشقی که دل خون منم دیوونه منم عاشقی که دل خون منم آقا تویی اونی که پریشون منم مجنونم اون که پای تو میمونه منم مجنونم اون پای تو میمونه منم به جان تو کی تو عالم
چشای منو تر میکنه ذکر یا حسین چشای منو تر میکنه اسمش ضربان دل و شدید تر میکنه اسمش ضربان دل و شدید تر میکنه حال من و عشق همه جور بهتر میکنه منی که زندگیمو برات کنار گذاشتم نمیدونم چی میشد اگه تو رو نداشتم دیوونه منم عشقی که دل خون منم های 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 دیوونه منم عشقی که دل خون منم تویونی که پرید خون منم های مجنونه بود سلام روز کجا کجا غریب و تنها بزم عذاب من بی کسب نبی کس تو حجت خدایی من عاشق ابن عاشق تو عشق نبی کس تو حجت خدایی من
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. 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 اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله 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 يا الله. إلهي بفاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها اكشف عنا السوء يا الله. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا كفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار يا الله مع محمد وآله الأطهار يا الله. اللهم اقض حوائج المؤمنين والمؤمنات شافي وعافي جميع مرضى المؤمنين والمؤمنات على الخصوص من أوصونا بالدعاء منهم. اللهم اقض حوائجهم شاف مرضاهم احفظهم في أوطانهم وديارهم بحفظك ورحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. رب اغفر لي ولوالدي وارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. اجزهما بالإحسان إحسانا وبالسيئات غفرانا. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من شيعته وأنصاره وأعوانه والمستشهدين بين يديه. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أرنا الطلعة الرشيدة والغرة الحميدة واكحل أنظارنا بنظرة منا إليه. اللهم نقسم عليك بالزهراء فاطمة إلا ما رزقتنا شفاعة الزهراء في الدنيا وفي القبر وفي الآخرة يا الله يا الله يا الله لقضاء الحوائج ولشفاء المرضى ولكشف هذه الغمة عن هذه الأمة ولتعجيل فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات لا سيما أرواح أموات الجالسين والحاضرين رحم الله من يقرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات.